work done on that bridge to keep it from falling over. It's on the historic registry. It's the bridge that's right out here. And if we do what we were supposed to, the bridge will stay up and it will become a means to understand the history of the streetcar station along with this building and creating a context for people to understand that. And what we want to do is I'm going to have our consulting team give you just a really short, brief introduction to the process and the project that we're going to be doing. And then we want you at a later date to give us some feedback on the direction that we're going with this. Some of the things that are sort of out of your hands are the structural condition of the bridge, because there's a limitation on how much we can do to it. And then we're also bound by the State Historic Preservation Office because of this bridge being designated as a historic element. So what we're going to do is have them give you a little brief overview of the project site and their process and how they're going to go from point A to point B. And then in a month or so, not sure if we'll have enough ready for the next meeting in January, because we have to wait for some feedback from the Historic Preservation Office. But we would like to come back, have you look at a couple of concepts for how we're going to do this site, because you guys are all very familiar with Como Park and its history and how people use it today, and we'd like to hear back comments on that. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Jeff Westendorf with RLK Incorporated, and he'll go ahead and make the presentation. Thanks.
Thank you, Don. As you said, my name is Jeff Westendorf, RLK. We have been selected as a team to work on the bridge project. With me today, I have Kurt Berglund as a civil engineer who will be working on analyzing the structure and figuring out what we can save, what we can't save, as well as working on the preliminary and final construction documents. Dan Osberg is going to be doing, or has done already, the 3D laser scan, which we will show you a quick little show of what it looks like with this scan. Craig David we have with us is our public artist on board. He has been working with us on conceptual plans and will also be helping us with the interpretive material and what those might look like and be located at. Charlene Royce cannot be with us due to traffic outside. She is our historic person. We'll be establishing our historic framework and working with SHPO and MnDOT to help get approvals through them. And we also have Miguel Rosales out of Boston. He is our bridge architect. And of course, he couldn't be with us today, but he's working as well with the preliminary and final designs of the bridge. As Miguel, or as Don said, we're here to research and understand the bridge site and its historic context, and to analyze and evaluate the bridge condition, and to collaborate with the city on how are we going to save as much as we can and kind of create an interpretive area for people to come and learn from the bridge what it used to be like. Currently, today, we have done a survey of the site. We've done, as I mentioned, a 3D laser scan, and we are now working on concepts and analyzing the bridge. And after that, we will start, like I said, we have to ship over their approval and MnDOT for their approval. And as we get their approvals, we'll keep going on and go for final documents.
And then what kind of funding are you using to do the engineering and then hopefully the rebuilding?
We've got federal transportation enhancement funds for a portion of it, and then we have city capital improvement budget funding for the construction match, as well as the engineering and administration costs. And the tricky part about this project is going to be finding a balance between preserving the bridge and also having funds available to make an interpretive site out of the project. The Historic Preservation Office, we were caught in a perfect example of catch-22 in that it was already designated as a historic element. And if we didn't do anything with it, it was going to collapse under its own weight. If we did anything to it, it's in such a condition that you can't really add much to it without having it lose its historic designation. So we have to try to stabilize it as best as we can. It will probably, it's very possible that it might no longer have its historic designation, but that's our goal. And then if that's the case, Chippo was agreeable to the idea that this, because it's in Como Park, which is also a historic place, that they would accept a little bit more.
So for this group, we've been a kind of a design task force for the Como Play area and the signage and wayfinding plan that we just finished. So maybe it's February's meeting rather than January's meeting. We're a second Tuesday group. So how would you see us being able to support? I think Don kind of laid out a couple of things, but might we be looking at a couple of design concepts or?
It would be plan, trail connections, and how exactly work, and interpretive material. Like Don said, we probably won't have a whole lot of say in the structural part of it itself.
Yep.
Just kind of trail connections and what we're doing around it.
What is the like overall timeline for after getting the plans together, like doing the work, stabilization, interpretive thing? How long does this project continue?
The actual construction of it?
Yeah, like when could we go and look at the plaque and go, wow, cool?
Well, after MnDOT approves the plan, we put it out for bid. That's a minimum of 4 weeks of advertising. Then there's usually another month at least that goes by before you can award a contract. And then construction could start maybe June or July. And, if everything went well, we could have the thing done by the end of the fall next year. But that's never been my timeline. Things always get complicated, but that's the best case scenario.
Okay, so it's kind of like end of 2013
Yeah.
towards 14.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, cool.